to the University of Georgia as athletic director. He's been a tremendous support to me, to our staff, to our program. He and his wife, Cheryl, have embraced Mary Beth and our family from day one we got here. He's been very supportive. He's been awesome with the different projects we've wanted to create and do. He's been very supportive of that. He's been somebody that I can rely on to help. And I appreciate Greg's friendship. And I'm happy for the next chapter in he and Cheryl's life. And they've been wonderful to the Smarts and to the University of Georgia. So I appreciate him. That's very important to me. And with that, we'll open it up. We just finished up practice. So like usual, just finished up our Wednesday session.
Okay, we'll go to questions. Let's start out. Let's go to Mike Griffith and then Anthony Dasher.
Yeah, Kirby, I had a kind of a philosophical question. Take what they give you versus do what you want. How do you balance taking what they give you versus dictating what you want to do and getting the ball to the players you want? It seems like it's kind of a yin-yang kind of question.
Yeah, I don't even really know how to answer that question. I mean, I don't balance that. I think you take what they give you and you do what you want. If they don't allow you to do what you want, then you take what they give you. But there's been games they give you 5 yard out and you're not able to take it. You can't throw it completed. So, I mean, it goes back and forth. There's something to be said for both of those comments. I mean, do what you want to do. Well, what do you want to do? I want to score points. Do you care how? No, I don't really care how. I mean, as long as we can run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, not turn it over, throw the ball downfield, I'm very pleased with all those things. I do think that being explosive is much more important than being balanced. And explosive can be done a lot of different ways. I can give you an example of 5 different offenses in college football that do it different ways, and they do it and they score points. So the be-all and end-all there is, are you scoring points?
Hey, Coach. Yesterday you were very complimentary of Sarah Fuller, and guys we talked to, were as well. But from strictly a football perspective, man, she's expected to kick off against you guys on Saturday. If she were to find herself in harm's way, is that a conversation you have or have to have with your kickoff team?
Probably not typically. I mean, I've never had to have that conversation before. I'm not going to change and have the conversation now, but we don't account for the kicker in our returns. I mean, I don't think anybody in the country accounts for the kicker. I mean, you assume that if you get to the kicker, you did a pretty good job in the return game. And so we don't plan on having a conversation about it. And I mean, she plays a very physical sport, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen some pretty brutal collisions without a helmet and without gear on. So I'm sure she can take care of herself when it comes to that. But that's not something that we've really concerned ourselves with because we don't assign anybody to the kicker.
Okay, let's go to Zach Klein and then Seth Emerson.
Hey, Coach, as the most high-profile coach at the university, the relationship with you and the athletic director always so important. What are you looking for, some qualities with the next man or woman who steps into the chair of Greg in the corner office?
Well, first and foremost, I think that everybody should know that I have complete confidence in President Moorhead. He's got a great relationship with myself, and we talk about these things a lot of times. He's appointed a wonderful group of an advisory committee that he'll meet, consult with. They'll come up with some ideas, candidates, and they'll search it through. And I have complete faith, trust, and confidence in them. And also that I can communicate freely with President Moorhead about it. And I know they'll make a good decision. So it's not something that I concern myself with or I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about playing Vanderbilt.
Kirby, early signing periods come up. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Do you feel like you guys have gotten a better feel down the stretch here for what you need to do recruiting wise in this environment, and knowing you can't have kids on campus, you couldn't do the face-to-face? Do you guys feel like you've kind of gotten in a groove and figured things out?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's just weird. I mean, I feel like we know who we're going to sign up to 90% or something of our spots. So like that's a given, and you don't like have that concern of, oh no, he's got 2 more trips left. Oh no, he's got to go. We got to survive him visiting here and here. So that's not there. but you're still concerned because they can have conversations and change their minds up until signing day. I think my concern would be more just like it is in the past when I don't know what are the most valuable spots we need, because a lot of that is based on juniors and decisions they have. And it's so hard to predict your roster for next year and your needs, not knowing who's going to be here and who's not. So it's that's the hardest thing for me is figuring out where the pieces of the puzzle come from in terms of who you sign.
Let's go to Chip Towers and then Mark Weiser.
Yeah, Kirby, doing
Good.
actually that was something I wanted to ask you about. Have you gotten any more clarity about the blanket waiver for seniors? That we were talking to D-Rob yesterday, and he said, yeah, he's going to go out on senior day, but he doesn't know what he's going to do on the other side of it. And as you alluded to, I mean, I'm sure it puts you in quite a pickle. They haven't expanded the 85 or anything else, right?
No, they're not counting. They're not going to count seniors. So if a senior chooses to come back, it's not going to count against your 85. It's going to be a bonus there,
Okay.
as I understand it. But I'll be honest with you, Chip, that's so far, that's not fair to those kids. And I know y'all got to ask the questions and that's your job, but it's really not fair because they haven't finished their season and they don't need to make that decision right now. That decision is based on family, graduation, performance, NFL evaluation. So when y'all are asking those kids those questions, it's bad. It's just not good for them to have to answer that. They need to be focused on Vanderbilt and playing good. And when their mind goes to the other, it's not great for them. Now, in their own free time, sure, they can think about it all they want, but they've got to focus on playing Vanderbilt, playing Missouri, hopefully playing a bowl game, avoiding COVID. There's a lot of things going on before they have to make that decision. But as far as the seniors go, they would be able to stay, and I think it's a great thing because they get a chance to possibly graduate. There's so few redshirt seniors on any team anymore. It just doesn't happen. We've got, I think, Ben and Prather. Those are the only two, and the rest of the guys, it would be an opportunity to graduate from college and possibly play again.
Thank you.
Kirby, you pretty much had a lot to say about Greg McGarity. I was going to ask you about him, but in the meantime, let me ask you about the new interim AD, Josh Brooks, your interaction with him through his time back here. And I don't know if you guys crossed paths, before that even.
Yeah, I know Josh well. Josh has been here. He's been the number 2. He's had a wide range of experiences in college athletics all over. He's a good logical choice to be the interim. And I know he'll be a candidate that is looked into deeply.
Let's go to Jake Rowe and then Jed May.
Kirby, a lot of your young offensive linemen got a chance to play against Vanderbilt, and you kind of gave us an evaluation of all of them last week. But what did you think of the way they handled that final drive? I mean, didn't look like South Carolina was able to really slow you guys down, and they kind of knew what was coming. I know they were worn down, but what did you think about the way that Broderick and Clay and Truss and a bunch of those guys kind of carried themselves on that drive?
I was proud of them. I was happy for them. They got to go in. Van Pran got to go in there and play, and Roger got to go in there and play, and that was great for those guys to get some of that experience. And in the past, it happened so much more often, and now the times we live in now, there's not many SEC schools that are getting to do that. So it was a reward for them, but I look forward to seeing them grow and get better, and they can do that every day in practice.
Kirby, I think you mentioned 2 or 3 times since the end of the game the other night that this senior class has a chance to go out as the winningest in school history. I think by my math, they got to win the last 2 games and then a bowl. Has that something you've talked with them a lot about over the back half of the season about how, an SEC championship might be a long shot, but there's still, I guess, plenty of legacy and history type stuff on the line down the stretch?
Yeah, we talked about it, I think, leading into the last game once. On a conversation we had on Friday, but I haven't belabored the point. Just think it's something that keeps you motivated. If that's something that motivates you, if it's legacy is important, that means something. Certainly been a lot of great senior classes, and I told them we were just talking about this with last year's class that they had the ability to tie it. And if this year had been a more traditional year with the extra games, this group probably could have shattered it. They could have beat it in by 2 or 3. But with only the 10 games and the possibility of a bowl game, they've got to win out to put themselves in that position. And I know that it matters to a lot of them.
Okay, let's go to Austin with red and black, and then Charles Odom with AP.
Hey Kirby, yeah. So in regards to Vanderbilt's offense, now they're with Derek Mason getting fired a few days ago, and Todd Finch now taking over. Where have you seen kind of the differences, I guess, in the offensive style from this year and last year with Todd Finch calling plays there?
Well, he's opened things up more. He's also, he's having to deal with freshman quarterbacks, which is tough. But he's done a really good job with the two freshmen, and he's got them playing well. Very, I guess what's the right word? I mean, their scheme does enough to give their freshmen a chance to be successful. So they go tempo to ease things on them. Simplify defenses. If you go fast enough, defenses can't do a lot of things. So that simplifies it for the young quarterback. He's a great RPO thrower. They do a really good job up front of getting a hat on a hat and getting the numbers game right for them. And the quarterback's a good athlete. Both those kids are pretty good athletes, and they're able to make plays with their feet. They can hurt people. So he does a good job changing it up, mixing it up, and he opens things up to allow his guys to make some plays. So I've been very impressed with what they've done this year.
Just a quick follow on the early signing period. When you said that it's tough because you don't know who's going to be back, were you referring to those seniors that have decisions to make, or were you referring to something else?
I'm referring to juniors. The seniors are going to get an opportunity to come back and would not count against your 85 is what has been suggested and what I think is going to be in play. I don't know that 100%, but that's what I've been told. So the seniors are not of concern. The juniors are always of concern, but that's no different than any year we've ever been here. That your juniors are not declaring in or out prior to your signing class being formed. And the unique thing is more and more kids are signing in December every year, and this year more than ever because there's nothing to wait for. There's not going to be visits in January. A higher percentage of kids will sign in December. Therefore, you're filling holes that you don't know if you have yet.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go to Connor Riley and then Matt DeBerry.
Hey, Kirby, just an injury update on Richard, Jordan Davis, and Kendall Milton. And then Arian Smith caught his first touchdown on Saturday. What have you seen from him, and what do you like about his potential?
Arian's got a lot of work to do, guys. Look, y'all will be the best in the world at putting him out there because he caught a touchdown pass. But he has to grow and get better. He doesn't know our complete offense. He doesn't know our route tree. He's getting better. He doesn't know who to block on a run play. I mean, he's got to get better, and he will. He works really hard. It means so much to him. And I was so proud that he got an opportunity to jump out there and go play and make some plays because he's talented. And we want to find a way to get him on the field and get him the ball. As far as the other guys, Jordan's been able to do more and more each day. He's got the pads on out there. He's getting closer. Richard's in meetings, doing walkthroughs. He's got pads on now. He has not taken any live reps or anything, but he's getting closer. Kendall Milton's hitting high speeds, running straight ahead. He's working individual drills. He's getting in some drills and things, but he's not cleared yet, and I don't know if he'll be cleared for this weekend.
I'm good, guys. Thank you.
All right, we got just a few more minutes. Let's just open up for 2 or 3 more questions. Anyone?
Hey, Kirby, what's the progression been for Dejon Edwards over the past couple of weeks since Milton's been injured?
It's been great. I mean, it hadn't been much different than before. I would say that you got to see him the other night more, and I thought he did a really good job running it. He's a great one-cut runner. He never takes a direct hit. He's able to get yards after contact. The center of gravity is really low. But I wouldn't say he's progressed more or less because of Kendall being out. He just got more opportunity the other night with Kendall being out because he gets Dale does a good job getting those guys opportunities in practice.
Kirby, do you have an indication? December 12th, December 19th, those makeup games and stuff haven't been announced, but do you have any indication on where everything stands with the Missouri game? Are you confident that game's going to be able to get played, or do you have any comment on that right now?
Don't really know much. I mean, I certainly hope. I'm hoping for the 12th, but I think they possibly have 2 makeup games. So I don't know where it's going to end up happening. I know that we're supposed to find that out soon as these games this week get confirmed and people don't have issues. So we're hopeful to find out soon, but I don't know much.
Anyone else got time for 2 more questions? Anyone? All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone, for calling in.
Thanks, Kirby.